What's going on, my YouTube family? Hope you guys are doing very well today. I'm doing pretty good here. If you're new to the channel, do your boy a favor, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you join my my new YouTube channel here. Every subscription really helps. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me over the last several preparation videos. We've been talking about the different supply shortages that we're seeing. We've been talking about different empty shelves situations in multiple different grocery stores. Previous video, I went to Aldi and the shelves were empty for a number of different reasons, a number of different types of products, not completely empty. It's not like there was nothing available in the grocery store, but you know, some of the staple items, maybe some of your favorite brands were not available. But in today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys more about the housing market and how to prepare for it. And I've been really keeping an eye on what's going on here. And a lot of people are predicting this housing market crash. Are we going to see a housing market crash in 2022? A lot of people predicted a housing market crash in 2020, housing market crash in 2021. Maybe the housing market crashes in 2023. But also, a lot of people are not talking about if the housing market does crash, right? To what extent does it crash, right? Like, I think everyone's definition of a housing market crash is going to be different. Now, a housing market crash to one person might be a 5% drop, right? So let's just say you have a $500,000 house, $500,000 house, and it drops 5%. So 5% of a $500,000 is what? What's that? $25,000. So that $500,000 house drops to $475,000. Depending upon your financial situation, that may or may not be a big deal. Let's say it drops 10%, right? So that $500,000 house is now worth $450,000. So it you know, it's going to be an interesting story as we monitor the situation and see how things play out. But this is exactly why you want to be prepared. You don't want to let these surprises in the housing market just come up and bite you in the rear end. You know, when SHTF, you know, when stuff hits the fan, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the fan ultimately. So there are some key warning signs that you can look into, and I'm monitoring this thing closely because I know a lot of my viewers and a lot of people who are close to me, they're either looking to sell a house or they're looking to buy a house. And the question is, do I sell my house right now or wait it out? Do I buy a house right now? Do I rent? Do I wait it out, right? Now, there are some key performance indicators that you can monitor, and I like to watch them myself because I want to know what's coming down the pipeline, right? Housing prices, they don't move up or down without justification. So if they're moving up, that means there's greater demand for the properties. There's greater demand to buy a property than there is to sell. Plain and simple. If home prices are going down, well, then there's less demand for the properties in the marketplace. Now, the question that we need, the thing we have to focus on is, or that we need to have a look at is, you know, we don't want to get caught off guard. What is going to be the predictor in terms of what's going to happen next, right? So I'm looking at this article. It says here, surging interest rates push mortgage demand down more than 40% from a year ago, right? So let's just look at some of the keynotes here. The average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages with conforming loan balances, $647,000 or less, increased to 4.9% from 4.8% for loans with a 20% down payment. Now, this is a 20% down payment. So first of all, the fact that, you know, we have to touch on history just a little bit. Remember, because a lot of people are saying, oh, we're going to have a crash like in 2008. May or may not. We may or may not. The situations are not at all the same. So first of all, the fact that we're even talking about a 20% down payment for conforming loan tells me that these buyers are not the same buyers from 2007, 2008, you know, or leading up to that housing market crisis. Those buyers, many of the buyers that got foreclosed on, which helped exacerbate the housing market crash, they were unqualified buyers to begin with. They should never have even been approved to buy loans. They should never have been approved to get loans to buy houses. Buyers today are way more credit worthy to become homeowners. 20% down payment with 720, 740 plus credit scores, though, and solid job history. These are qualified buyers today. These aren't buyers of 2000, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. Many of those buyers were getting loans, stated income loans, interest only loans, adjustable rate mortgage loans. That's not happening today. That is not happening today, right? So, all right, let's further. Applications here for applications to refinance a home loan, which have been falling steadily for months, dropped another 10% week to week. Okay, so that's real data. That's something that we should be paying attention to. Applications to refinance a home loan, they have been falling steadily for months, dropped another 10% week to week. Now, we could look at, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. Interest rates, let me see. Fed interest rates chart. Okay. So, I talked about this on previous videos, but when you hit historic lows on mortgages or interest rates of any kind, if your rate is not at anywhere near that, you need to strongly consider refinancing your house, right? So let me see here. This is the federal funds rate, 62-year. So if we look at this here, we can see, so you can see federal funds rate, 62-year historical chart. We can see that we're still at historical lows, right? 0.33% is saying from May 2022. But the point is this. Some people have decided or tried to camp out and wait for mortgage rates to go even lower rather than taking their percent mortgage rate and going ahead and refinancing the loan at the lower interest rate, assuming that you're not looking to sell the house anytime soon. It's just a wise move. And a lot of people didn't do that. But here's the thing. So this article is saying that applications to refinance a home loan have been falling steadily for months, dropped another 10% week to week. Now, that shouldn't really come as a surprise, because if interest rates are going up, then obviously there's fewer people that would benefit from refinancing their mortgage. So refinancing is slowing down, at least according to the data. However, refinancing is not directly in relation to the home value, meaning like if applications for refinancing a house are dropping, that's not affecting the housing market per se. So what we want to look at is some additional key indicators if future home prices will be declining, right? So first thing I'll be looking at is, number one, are we seeing fewer mortgage applications to purchase? Now, that's going to be one of the first indicators in terms of whether or not housing prices may decline, because that's going to give you a very good reading in terms of how many new buyers are hitting the market. If the buyers start slowing down, then that's going to give you a hint toward whether or not reduced demand from a buyer standpoint for the purchase of new houses. It says here, mortgage applications to purchase a home fell 3% for the week and were 9% lower than the same week 1 year ago. So this in and of itself is telling us that the demand, or that the buyers are not hitting the market to the extent that they once were. Now, mortgage applications to purchase a new home fell 3%. That's not, and that's for the week, and it's totally, in total, 9% lower than the same week a year ago. So today versus last year, we're sitting 9% lower in terms of the new mortgage applications. And to be honest with you, with interest rates having jumped up as quickly as they have, I'm actually surprised it's not worse than this. It says here, rising interest rates are crushing the mortgage market. As precious few homeowners can now benefit from a refinance, and more potential homebuyers become priced out. Total mortgage applications volume fell another 6% last week compared with the previous week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's seasonally adjusted index. Volume was down 41% from the same week a year ago. The average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages with conforming loan balances, $647,200 or less, increased to 4.90 from 4.8, with points decreasing to 0.53 from 0.56, including the origination fee for loans with a 20% down payment. The rate was just 3.36 1 year ago. That is the fourth consecutive week of now. So basically, what they're saying is that basically interest rates have gone up, mortgage applications have declined. No surprise here, folks, right? And so we should be expecting this. I mean, if interest rates are climbing, and I mean, they're climbing rapidly. I read somewhere that for every 1% that interest rates go up, you generally will see somewhere in the vicinity of housing prices decline by 10%. Now this is from a fairly credible source. I can't remember what the source is, but the point is this, housing prices are still going up. So the question is, will the demand for new homes, because even if 10% of if mortgage applications decline by say 10%, how many more buyers are there compared to sellers? Meaning, how many fewer mortgage applications can we see come in to purchase new homes? How many fewer of those new mortgage applications can come in before it reaches an equilibrium where there are the same number of buyers as there are sellers? Because that will be the point where the housing market really gets soft in terms of appreciation and housing prices. Now, the next thing we got to pay very close attention to is the moment when the buyers are outnumbered by sellers. That will be a problem. That will be a problem, because when there are more sellers than there are buyers, then it becomes a buyer's market. And at that point, it's going to get real interesting. At that point, sellers will have to say, hey, maybe I need to lower my price in order to get some attention on this property, because there's so much more competition at that point, right? If we ever get to a point where there are more sellers than there are buyers, we're going to see a significant drop in housing prices. This is my personal prediction. I just can't imagine seeing it in any other way. Now, to the extent that the prices drop, that's another story. Hopefully, I'm just thinking as a homeowner, homeowners don't want to see their property values drop. But at the same time, if you're a home buyer, you do want to see prices drop so you can get a deal. The problem is, you would have to get such a deal on a house to make up for the higher cost of your mortgage that I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, think about it like this. Let's say interest rates go from, let's look at our prime example. Mortgage interest rates went from 2.8% 8 months ago, 8 or 9 months ago, you could have gotten a 30-year fixed rate mortgage for 2.8%. Today, you're going to go out here and get a mortgage somewhere between 4.8, 4.9%. We just saw that on CNBC.com. So what this tells me is that on a $500,000 house, your mortgage rate or your mortgage payment is now roughly $750 more per month because of the interest rate change alone. So what that means is that if you're looking to buy a house today and you're hoping that, you know, with the increase in mortgage rates, everybody's expecting home values to decline, for you to get a better deal today in terms of how much you're paying per month on a mortgage payment, at today's interest rates, the price of the house, let's just assume it's $500,000 house, right? That house would have to fall probably down to about, I'm gonna say a good $400,000, maybe $380,000. And me personally, I don't know if that's very likely. That would mean that we would need to see somewhere around a 25% market crash, housing market crash, in order to just be at the same monthly payment on your mortgage as you would have been before interest rates began to rise. I don't know if I see that, folks. We would have to see massive inventories hitting the market. We would have to see massive unemployment all of a sudden show up. We would have to see a flood of new homes hitting the market, meaning like new construction, and or a massive wave of foreclosures before I would even begin to expect a 25% or anywhere near that decline in home prices. So the thing is, homeowners or home buyers, they can counteract this by, and it's not really easy to do, but they can counteract this by making a significantly greater down payment on their home. So of course that would drastically reduce their mortgage payment, but at the same time, the interest being paid on it would obviously be what it is. So if your goal was to buy a house, and if you're buying based on mortgage payment, then you could counteract the higher interest rates by making a bigger down payment. But again, you know, I don't see a big housing market crash looming. Personal opinion, I don't see a big housing market crash looming based on the data and based on the statistics at hand. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Is what I'm saying making sense to you guys? Hit me up in the comments down below. Are you guys looking to buy a house? Are you looking to sell a house? Are you renting? What do you think that we are going to be seeing in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months in terms of the housing market? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you made it this far, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button. Just food for thought. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video.